Welcome to The High Ground, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast.
Hello and welcome back to The High Ground, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast brought to you by the Fifth Trooper Network. My name's Mike Barry, and I am here with Evan Bulriss. How you doing, my man?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm good. You know, I got a few more games of Shatterpoint in, and looking forward to discussing it today.
Cool. Yeah, I got the Grievous pack, and I built him, and I built Kraken, and so if you didn't like building the B1s, be warned that Grievous and Kraken are a bit fiddly.
Okay.
My advice for Grievous is he's got that sick pose where he's got his lightsabers out and he's on the statue and he's got his cape going, like, you know, top tier. Honestly, the model looks great, but when you're building it, skip ahead, build the torso, the legs, the feet, and the bottom, but don't put any of the top stuff on yet, and let that glue and set before you start adding the arms and the head and everything. I did it the way they told you to, and he's so top heavy with how he looks. Like, he kept falling, so he had to do that weird, like, I had like a cup, a paint bottle, and my glue thing all like propped up so he could like set
the assembly matrix.
Yeah, so you could sit in there for a while. And then Kraken was like that too. He was kind of a pain. But the B2s actually went together pretty well. Their legs kind of stink where they like go in the joints, but I did the same thing where you just like it's like beer can, soda can, like put the between the two so they could like stand there for a minute. So I got them done, and I'm pretty excited to get him on the table because he actually looks good in this game. Good question mark.
Grievous is gonna be good.
He gets to keep his title as general. In Legion, he's just Greg until he gets his act together.
yeah, until he stops scuttling away. I have not invested in any separatist stuff at the moment. I definitely am in it. I'm a Republic guy through and through. What can I say? I play Anakin. I just always play Anakin, and it turns out he's just the best thing to be doing in any game I play. So that's how it goes.
I mean, that's good though, right? It's you're eating pretty well, because I'm really waiting. They showed Plo Koon. And I'm a big fan of Plo Koon myself, and we used to play an X-Wing list called Plo's Bros, where Plo Koon's very supportive. I just want to do like Plo Koon and a bunch of clones, and every time one's about to get hurt, be like, "Sir, we're just clones, we're expendable." Not to me. It's like going like, I don't know what he's gonna do, but like, I'm sure he's gonna be like defensive protector kind of guy. So I'm not really. I like the Clone Wars. That's not my favorite Star Wars time, but I definitely don't dislike it. I think Clone Wars is pretty cool. I just I'm waiting to see some of the stuff that's coming up, because I want to play, like, honestly, in my heart of hearts, I just want them to release like a Cal Kestis, and
I still haven't finished that game, unfortunately.
It's pretty good. I'm just waiting for, like, they've shown they're willing to do some like with one of the sets we're talking about today, some like extended universe stuff a little bit. So it'd be cool to see like just some what crazy stuff, like the whole Ghost Crew seems really cool.
No, totally.
Like, I'm here for that.
I assume that they can like find a way to like put it in, like, you're gonna be able to put the whole Ghost Crew on on the table, right? Like, that seems like an easy one. That feels like with Ahsoka coming, that's gonna happen than later, I would imagine.
I mean, right? It's the new Ahsoka show. They're calling what, Rebels Season 5, right?
Have they officially called it Rebel Season 5, or is that more like scuttlebutt stuff?
I think it's scuttlebutt. I thought Filoni said it, but then again, like, AI writes most of these clickbait articles at this point, so who knows what's actually like.
They even write our clickbait articles, apparently, from what I hear.
That's true. If you haven't checked out the article we posted of Evan versus the machine, or Evan versus Chat GPT, it's pretty good, actually.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
I was pretty happy with that. But yeah, we've got some news. Well, we're catching up on some news. Some news came out and it finally got finished, so we're gonna go over the spoil of the Dathomir pack, and then we're talking about Darth Maul because more Dathomir, why not?
Yeah, Dathomirian episode 3. I think before we head into it, as always, if you're looking to support us in any way, check us out at thefifthtrooper.com or patreon.com/thefifthtrooper. Gotta get it right, Mike. And yeah, let's dive into some sweet previews, I think.
So they've shown the whole set now. They did it in 2 parts. They did Night Sisters, Mother Talzin, and the Night Sisters, and then they did Savage Opress as a different release. But we've got Mother Talzin up. Her abilities 8 squad points, which is cool. That's high. That's good.
Yeah.
3 force. And her abilities obscuring shadows. At the start of this unit's activation, choose another allied Dathomirian unit. 1 character in that unit may dash. So, good thing to note that. Wow, Maul. Sorry, I don't know why it took me so long there for a minute. Maul, Maul, and wow, Asajj. Holy cow! I had to try to look and bail myself out. I'm like,
it's okay. We only talked about it last episode.
Oh, I know. Oh, my brain. Oh my gosh. Maul and Asajj both have the Dathomirian keyword, and so do the rest of the people in the squad. So you can do some cool things there. Manipulating hand, 2 force. Choose an enemy character within 4. The chosen character dashes. You resolve this move.
I think this is this is definitely the first one we've went over on the podcast that is literally like a force push.
Yes. Yeah, it's exactly what it is, really, right?
Yeah. Because all the other stuff, all the shoves, and we're gonna go over some stuff with Maul today. They're angle based. So you can only do it in a certain direction based on your positioning, which is a big part of this game. We haven't really dove too deep into that yet, but I'm sure at some point we will. And this is just nope, you actually just get to move them where you want. This seems very powerful.
Yeah, forward or backward, or side, right? It's pretty cool. A lot of the other characters, you have to do a lot of angling to get what you want. This is just where you go, and it's 2 force points to do that. So a lot, but also pretty worth it. Life drain. After an allied Dathomirian character makes an attack, if the defending character suffered 1 or more damage, this unit may use this ability. The allied Dathomirian character may heal, which is remove a status effect or gain a hit point. Also note that it can be not them, it can be within range 2, right? Yeah. So they can heal somebody else if they wanted to.
This seems really powerful.
Yeah. Wrath of the Great Mother. Once per turn, when an enemy character wounds another allied unit, after the effect is resolved, 1 character in this unit may dash and then may make a 5 dice range attack against attack targeting the enemy character. So pretty good.
Yeah.
Overall, 10 hit points, 3 wounds. Not bad.
Yeah. Her Wrath of the Great Mother ability is very similar to primary Ahsoka's ability. I think it's almost identical, with the exception of the dash being an advance on Ahsoka's card. Again, I know we haven't gotten to that squad yet, but it's very, very similar things going on there. And on Ahsoka, it is extremely good.
Yes.
So, obviously, I mean, just looking at her damage trees and stuff down on the bottom here, they seem pretty decent overall. It looks like she's got the ability to trigger manipulating hand in her wrath tree.
Jeez, yeah.
Which and obviously you don't have to spend the force if it happens there, so that seems very strong. Yeah, I don't know.
Not bad.
She seems pretty good overall.
And she seems one seems better at melee, one seems better at ranged. When you're looking at the trees. So that's interesting. It's not so much a defensive offensive one. It's depending on what range you want to engage at, right?
Yeah, I think that's very fair. The Wrath tree definitely looks more melee oriented in that it's both offensively and defensively better in melee. And the Great Mother one is definitely I guess the whole Great Multi thing is she's like doing the like witch magic stuff, right? Is that the
Yeah,
idea there?
I think so. Yeah.
I guess the attack is literally called magics. So
Yeah. Just magics. But she looks pretty cool. I think she's coming out with what wave is she? Mace,
I'm
right?
lost
I
at this
think
point.
so.
So
Yeah, I think it's Mace and her come out next month, and then after that, it's uh Padme and Cad Bane. I think that's September.
okay,
Uh,
okay.
I think. Don't quote me. Truly savage. Savage. So I hate
So
the name. Go for it.
I gotta step in here and correct you because it's
Yeah.
Savage.
Oh, Savage.
It is Savage. I'm
That's
pretty sure.
true. All right. I just Star Wars has this problem naming characters sometimes where it's just
Oh,
like General
what-
Grievous, Captain Bad Guy, Savage Opress, like Savage Opress. It's just like I get it, but also I just can't take him like his name seriously.
yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with
But
you.
he's a pretty good side character, I think. Just a nice beat stick. We've got he's 4 points to take, provides 0 force, which is interesting that maybe some side characters will provide force someday. That would be
Yeah, I could
interesting
see that for
turnaround.
sure.
He's got active ability, Dark Fury, 2 force. Choose an enemy unit within 2, roll 5 attack dice. The chosen unit suffers damage for each crit and hit result in the roll. If the chosen unit is a force user, it suffers damage from this ability. It gains exposed. So that's not even a defensive thing, right? You can just eat damage, no defense roll.
Yeah, I would have to look at the die facings to see what the results. I got to imagine that this probably like does 2 to 3 on average.
I think so. I think that's about right.
Which for 2 force seems like not enough, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think since it's unblockable, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not. That's not as, what I'm really here for. The rest of the stuff is pretty good.
Yeah.
Force Rush, 1 force. Each character in this unit may dash. If this unit is injured, each character in this unit may advance. So you can advance, then Force Rush. It costs you 2, but you could advance again.
Advance instead. Yeah.
Which is not bad. Overpowering monster. When a character in this unit makes an attack against a primary character, add 2 dice to the attack roll. So he'd be rolling 9, which is quite a bit. Pain is weakness. Characters in this unit have protection and steadfast. Pretty nutty. That's where they take a damage off the top, right?
Yep.
Or is it? Right?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Steadfast, if I'm recalling correctly, is the one where you ignore the first shove.
Yeah. So that's pretty strong. And then Unwitting Brute. When a Separatist Alliance primary unit or an allied Dathomirian primary unit starts the activation with 3 of this unit, 1 character in this unit may advance. Dash. So not bad. Getting a free dash to get him in there, and then
this is the thing that scares me the most, I think, on his card, because I think the way that you could set this up in theory is that you could get multiple dashes with this. Like if you have like Maul, Asajj, like Maul and Asajj or whatever, or like, I mean, it's even Separatist Alliance primary unit. As long as you have him, as long as they all start like relatively close together, I think you can probably dash and stay in range of the next primary unit to activate.
Because 3's not that small if you're going to try to set it up, right?
Yeah, and so I think you could probably get 2 dashes, and then you can like Furious Rush, like to like once he's moved twice because your his friends have gone, like you can then on his turn like dash again, like advance dash, and you're probably on the other side of the board at that point.
Yeah, that's pretty good. His skill tree thing to note is a lot of it's just straight damage, like 2, 4, 6, 8 if you want to do it.
Yeah.
He can also do Dark Fury for free if you get that far down.
Yeah, you could also do Furious Rush. I think Dark Fury is probably what you want there, just because it turns his 8 damage into like 11 or 12 probably.
Yeah, and
particularly because he's got damage in his expertise tree as well.
Yeah, straight, which is kind of a new thing. I noticed that with the B2s have that. Just they have 1 and 2. You either take 1 or just 2 extra damage. So I have that baked in, where even if you roll, you get a pretty bad roll and they block most of it, but you get like, let's say you get 2 expertise, it's still something. You still get some damage in. And the thing to note too is he can give you just about every status effect.
Yeah, you just like have all the status effects, so you're good to go. I think the biggest thing on his combat card that I don't think I've seen it. We've seen a bunch of it, but not this cheaply, is the jump for 2 defensive expertise.
Oh yeah,
that seems really cheap for that ability.
Yeah,
as far as like, I actually think I mean, he's only rolling 4 defense dice. He's definitely like a melee like he's an offensive monster. You don't want this guy to be like the target of attacks, I think.
Yeah.
But being able to jump in response to getting attacked is very powerful.
Yeah, because that's a full advance, right? A jump advance, or is
no, it's just a dash. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Dash, basically ignoring terrain height. I think up to a certain value.
It's pretty good though. No range attack, just melee, but he can. There's a world where he throws like 10 dice at you if he gets up where he focuses and swings. With 7 plus the not Furious Rush, overpowering monster on a primary, and then takes a focus. So there's a world where he can just really slap you. So he's not bad. He's pretty cool. I'm expecting to see a lot of Maul Savage combos just because it looks cool. To have 2 Dathomirian double bladers going at it. But problem is, like, Night Sisters are good. I feel like they're better with the mother than they are with Maul. But
you can do both.
Yeah, you can do both. Just have a good old time. So Night Sister Acolytes. Wow, jeez, man.
There you go.
I know.
You got it. You all right?
Yeah, it's end of the day. My brain's out of caffeine. I'm just really struggling. I'm really struggling, man. Man, I'm really struggling. Okay. Acrobatic Advance, 1 force. Each character in this unit may jump. If any character jumps, this character gains Hunker, which is the only way to gain cover. So very cool. Very cool. Coordinate Fire, Expose. When a character in another allied Dathomirian unit makes an attack as part of a combat action, before dice rolled, this unit may use ability. If the target character is within 5 of the character in this unit, the character gains Exposed. This is the same thing that the 501st have with Bleed.
Yeah, right? So basically all the clone supporting units have coordinated fire. The main difference here is that I believe, and let me just double check real quick before I put my foot in my mouth, so all of the clone coordinated fires calls out Galactic Republic as opposed to Dathomirian. So basically, all I'm trying to say with this here is that their coordinated fire is basically anybody they're in a squad with most of the time.
Yeah.
Whereas Night Sister Acolytes, there's only like 4 other units in the game that can actually proc their coordinated fire.
Yes, actually, there is only 4. I was gonna say I had to do a quick thing. I'm like Saj, Mother,
I'm glad that it's
Savage
because I just pulled that out of the air without
without
actually thinking about
I had to do like a really quick thing. I'm like, wait, is he? Yeah, he's right. Darkness and Shadows. While this unit has 1 or more hunkers, characters in this unit add 1 die to their defense rolls against ranged attacks. So it'd be, if you have a hunker and you're out in the open, no cover, you'd add 2 dice instead of 1. And if you're behind cover, or you qualify for cover, depending on how like the line of sight and everything's ranged, you'd add 3 dice to your defense rolls instead of 2. So that's pretty okay.
Yeah, it definitely, this ability makes me really feel like if you're not using Acrobatic Advance every time they go, you're losing some value, which means they're going to be kind of force hungry.
Yes, I think so too. Night Hunter. When a character in this unit makes a ranged attack as part of its combat action, if it targets an enemy character that's engaged with another allied Dathomirian character, it adds 2 dice to the attack roll. That's pretty good. So throwing shooting 8 at 5. And they're both 2 separate characters, so you could shoot, like, if they both shot the same character, it's 16 dice coming at them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is what makes them good. If they are good, that this is the ability that really gets them going. I think their like combat tree is really not anything super special. It's like very similar to other supporting units. Like, do a damage, here's a status effect. Do a damage, here's a shove or whatever. So,
But they only have 7 hit points, and that makes them pretty susceptible to criticals. So if an Anakin or anybody who has a lot of like I guarantee crits more or less rolls up on them, they're probably going to be toast. So they're a good skirmishing support unit. They're like the 501st, where I feel like I always feel underwhelmed sometimes by them, but I have to like understand that their job is just to exist, right? Like
they just
be on
like
point, shoot, make some bleed.
they hang out, they coordinate fire some things. I do think the Night Sister is like, if you don't want them to just fold to damage, you do have to be spending the force to get to hunker to like basically boost their defense stats up to like 7 or 8. Which is a lot, which is really good. So,
and their note that their expertise in defense is 1 to 2 expertise, just 1 add, 1 block. 3+ is a block and a reposition, so they can get out of, if they just happen to be caught by something, if they get shot once, they can get out of range before they get shot again.
Yeah, I think this is going to be situationally pretty useful, but I suspect that if you've rolled 3+ expertise,
you're probably not alive, but still it's there.
Yeah, like you can reposition, but you're probably KO'd or injured or whatever.
So next we have, so thoughts on the faction overall.
So I think this pack overall feels like potentially the most thematic pack that I think has been released in the game so far, which I think is really cool. I'm trying to think of one that feels more thematic, and I think maybe Padme is the one that's previewed, maybe fits that bill, but it's not out yet, so it doesn't count. Overall, it feels like a weird amalgamation of abilities, in that the sisters and Savage seem really glass cannon-y.
Yes, they do.
And I'm not sure if they're like more fragile than separatist units in general or less. Not that they're like actually like separatists, but I think
they'll be played a lot with stuff, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna want to play like Asajj and Maul and that sort of thing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm a little bit like reserved on being super enthusiastic about these guys, outside of the fact that I think they're gonna look really cool to put on the table.
No, they're like, it's cool to see. Oh, hey, first try that came out really good. All right. I was little off-screen stuff. I was fighting with this, and I didn't have a chance to see what I was doing when I was setting it up. So that, well, chef's kiss. Also, AMG, if you're listening, if you want to make any more cool cardboard backgrounds, I'm running out. I use the snow one a lot. This one's coming up, and I've just got the Shatterpoint one after that. But there's a lot of stuff you're putting out, man. I need some more backgrounds. So if you could do that, that'd be just great. But no, there's gonna be somebody who will take that and make a really thematic Dathomirian list and just be really successful with it. That's probably not me. But I think there's some cool, it's cool to see the Night Sisters actually in a miniature game.
Yeah.
Just in general, because they weren't really an X-Wing, and Legion, they don't exist. So it'd be cool to see, like, they're kind of like this, they were mentioned a little bit in Fallen Order, a little bit in Survivor, the 2 current Star Wars games, right? So they're not like popular, like they're not used a lot. So it's neat to see them get a whole box, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, that's cool. I'm here for that.
Yeah, and I guess I think from the theme perspective, I haven't even looked this up. Maybe you know the answer, but like, could you take 2 units of Night Sisters if they're in different squads?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. Let me.
Like, I haven't actually ever even looked up if you can do that. Like if you can like take 2 501st units or something. Like obviously with the named characters, I think it's pretty clear that you're
I
not
don't
able
know,
to do
actually.
that. And I'm looking at all the cards, and like the named units have like the unique dots on them, but
Yeah.
the like like Clan Kree's Mandalorians does not have the unique dot. And I actually don't know if those dots are indicative of uniqueness or not.
I'd never even thought about it because B1s only come in the core set. And so if
Yeah,
you wanted another set of B1s,
very expensive.
it'd be actually anti-consumer to say if you want more B1s, you have to buy another core set to play some B1s. So I don't know if I actually that's a good question. I'm not sure.
I am attempting to look it up while we're talking here. We can
Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll
we
give a
can we
little.
can definitely go back to that. A unit with a unique name is a specific person, droid, or other being. Yeah. Units that share a unique name may not be included in the same strike team with each other.
Okay, that's the same like 4-man squad, right?
Well, yes. And so I think well, no, I think strike team is the two squads put
Okay,
together.
okay.
And like so for instance, like I don't think you could put like Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader in the same strike team
Okay.
because they're both Anakin.
I know Vader specifically calls out that he can't, like that's a specific call out in his card.
Oh, if it calls that out specifically, then maybe you can put um a duplicate support card in then.
Like I wouldn't see why not. Because to me they're just chaff, but that's also like Legion thinking, not
It totally is. Yeah, yeah.
Shatterpoint thinking, right?
I definitely feel like from what I'm looking at, I think he might be able to, which would be cool. Just in that where I'm headed with this is that oh no, so each squad contains 3 units. When building a strike team, players may not include any unit that shares the same unique name with another unit in their strike team, and may never include 2 units that have the same unit name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
That's
rip. Sorry,
yeah,
Night Sisters.
bummer, but also that's good because I would have been very upset if the only way to get like more 501st was to buy a core set again. It's like, yo, yikes.
Totally. I also think from just like telling them apart on the table, it would probably get tough.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We have so we're doing Maul by my request. It wasn't totally because it went with all the Dathomir stuff, and it's not totally because I haven't finished painting Ahsoka and other Mandos yet. So I just need to buy time. I need one more week so I get them done, and I got to get my Grievous done for Gen Con and then Nova. I don't even, man, by the time Nova comes out, I think that should be the Night Sisters pack and Mace will be out. So that might change what I do, but I just really want to push Grievous around the table and actually have people be like, oh crap, oh
it's
no,
Grievous. Yeah.
it's Grievous, oh no, instead
Not
of like free dinner. Like a free lunch, he showed up.
I'm like, oh, you're playing Grievous? I mean, we can play this game if you want.
Yeah. Oh,
That's how I
he
feel
really
about
put
it.
a lot of points into him, huh? He's like 200 point Grievous now. Okay, all right, man. So one of the core set characters, which was cool that they threw him in here, because Maul, I think it was probably a tactical choice because I think this was probably on the tails of the Shadow Collective when they were like making the core set what they wanted to go in there, and so to have like core set Maul come out with, Shadow Collective Maul, then this come out with him in the core set, I think was a good play, just to get some cool like other characters in there.
Yeah, that's fair. I definitely felt like the core box for Shatterpoint felt very season 7 Rebels to me.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I guess Asajj wasn't in that season, but I don't know, just with like the man, like the double Mando unit selections, and Ahsoka and Maul. Obviously, Anakin and Asajj are kind of like odd includes, I guess, in that respect, but whatever, they're pretty cool units generally too. So
Well, they put Anakin and Asajj on the special art for Force Push. What do you mean? They got a little remember this guy, the one that everyone's got all the wrong the different languages for? Like,
yeah, mine says Moktos.
Moktos, the German one.
Yeah.
But man, I almost said wrong languages there. Oh my god, my brain. It's not English. It's not right. Yeah, wow. Jeez, Evan. Holy cow. So we've got, let me switch back to show the models, and then I'll kind of bounce back and forth between these two because that's fun and easy to do. All right. No longer Darth, now just Maul. Lord Maul. Lord Maul. Did I get the quote wrong in the show?
I honestly, I'm not very good at like retaining quotes from the TV show, so I don't know.
Okay, I thought I got it right, so maybe I goofed. But all right. Lord Maul, one force, jeez. Force speed, one force. You know what? Mike, why don't
you want me to take over
really,
from here?
I'm falling down this ladder pretty bad.
I've been following your lead. I will step in and drive.
Thank you, please. I'm dying. Help me.
You're good. All right, cool. So we've got Lord Maul. So his first ability on here is Force Speed. It is one force, and each character in this unit may advance.
Excellent.
Yeah, I definitely feel like this is probably the ability that, I don't know, it's very quick. It's silly quick. Use it often.
Yeah.
Second ability on here is there is no place to run. 2 force. Choose a character in this unit and an enemy character within 3 of that character. So within 3 of Maul. Pull the chosen enemy character range 2 toward the chosen allied character, again, Maul. Then the chosen enemy character gains expose.
This seems situational. I mean, of course it is, but it seems, I guess I haven't played enough where I feel I get a lot of use out of this, like for like the correct zoning.
So yeah, it definitely so there's a couple things that this can do that I've kind of messed around with. The first is that if he doesn't quite make it to engagement range, you can spend 2 force to bring something in, so you can hit it with your lightsaber stick.
That's
right?
Fair.
That I think is going to probably be the most regularly used use case. The other situation is where you can like yank somebody off a point and basically make it so that they can't contest it like with 100% certainty, similar to kind of like a force push situation.
Yeah.
But because this is directional, like we were talking before with Mother Talzin, hers you can just like move them wherever you want. This one basically has to be like towards Maul. So you kind of have to have Maul in the right spot when you decide to activate this ability.
Roger.
His next ability is Revenge. I must have revenge. When this unit is wounded by a melee attack, after the attack is resolved, one character in this unit may immediately dash and make a 5 dice melee attack targeting the character that wounded it.
It's free.
Yeah, free. I think I actually, now that I'm reading this, does this always cost you a force?
It will if you're wounded. Yeah. Oh, I just realized he can only be wounded once. For whatever reason, I thought he could be wounded twice. So wounded is not injured, right? Wounded is if he takes some damage, he's wounded.
I would have to look up the exact terminology. Sometimes I get them all mixed up.
Yeah, there's a lot of keywords that kind of sound similar. Because I think of this one, if you get hit by like, you take 3 damage, I think that's considered being wounded, right? Because injured is otherwise you'd only ever get to use this once.
So wounded is before you you're wounded after you're like until you go, and then you're injured.
Oh, okay. So it's just like a once time
Yeah.
thing. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
all right.
yeah, you definitely. It sounds like you pretty much are only going to get to use this once, which is fine, I guess.
Yeah.
His last ability, which is kind of like the thing that defines his kit, is sustained by rage. While this unit is not wounded, when it would spend force to use an ability, it may suffer damage equal to the cost of that ability instead. For every 3 damage this unit has, characters in this unit add 1 dice to their attack rolls. For each injured token this unit has, characters in this unit add 3 dice to their attack rolls. So to be clear, you can take damage instead of spending force, and then you can add up to 6 dice to your melee attacks with sustained by rage.
Yeah. Pretty gnarly. Well, it's every 3 damage character has 1 of their attack. Isn't it when it's uninjured? Was he not wounded? Oh, okay, wait. Yeah, you're right. When he's like injured, attack rolls character. Yes, attack rolls for every injured. So when he's injured, he also gets the 1 for every 3.
Yeah, he gets 1 for every 3, and
right.
then he gets an additional 3 for being injured.
Jeez.
Yeah. So it's kind of
you throw like 13 dice at you, pretty at least probably 11. Like 11 to 10 pretty regularly.
Yeah, he feels like a character that you kind of have to play like on the edge.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Built my house on a cliff because I like to live on the edge.
Yeah. His trees are pretty supportive of what he's trying to do, in that there's a lot of damage in them. Like a lot of 2 damage, sometimes plus extra stuff. He's got a jump in his dark rage tree. He's got a bunch of shoves in the dark rage tree. And additionally, like his expertise is just all over the place, and then it just gives you a lot of stuff. You can heal and jump with Julio on the dark rage tree. And I think that
the sinister cunning with the heal and jump there.
Oh no, I was looking for the expertise.
Okay. Yep. You're right.
Yep.
Sorry.
And for the sinister cunning, which I think people might not be able to see, maybe it's my video thing that's in the way, but on my video thing I can't actually see sinister cunning, and I just moved it, so that's probably fine on the recording. I was like, sinister cunning, what's that? But yeah, so he does have a jump and heal in his tree on the sinister cunning side, and I actually think before you engage your opponent, the sinister cunning portion of this tree is where you want to be. His lightsaber throw or thrown lightsaber is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. It's also more like your advice is good, like always kind of start the game on your defensive side if you can, just because you don't know where it's going to go, and you can flip him on your turn, so if you need to get attacky you can do that, right?
Yep.
But no, he's like a damage machine. I haven't seen him on the table yet, mostly because I just most of my times is doing like teaching games, demo games, so I've just got it's Asajj Dooku versus Obi and Anakin, and then I've just got their perspective list built because I know them enough where I can just coach people through, like, no, you should probably think about this. Oh, did you know you could do that? So I haven't put out Maul yet, so I haven't seen him on the table, but being able to throw an average of like 10 or so dice with a pretty mean expertise tree is interesting. That's a lot of damage you can pump out.
For sure. And I definitely think, his positioning stuff, and with there is no place to run, like once you like get like pretty good at the game, you'll start to like be able to like build combo-y stuff with that ability, where you like pull somebody towards you, and that makes it so that when Asajj goes or Kalani goes, like your dudes can move up and attack that person. It's so you kind of have to like have some foresight in that regard. But yeah, I think overall pretty strong. I do think he's kind of fragile. I think in all the games I've played with I've seen him played Anakin just as kind of walked up and hit him with a stick.
Yeah.
But definitely a finesse piece.
Am I good in this game yet?
Ooh,
Gar Saxon, Merciless Commander.
gee whiz. You
Yeah.
throwing out the heat. For what it's worth, I think he's good in Legion. I assume that that's what that illusion is.
Yeah, it is. It's man, I played a lot of Gar, and I don't know, but maybe with the changes he's good now in Legion.
I'll give you he's okay in this game in Legion, I guess. So
Yeah, he's just
maybe he's fine.
For being like such a Billy badass, they try to make him out to be in like the lore. He's very much like, okay, remove one clone trooper. Shoot.
Can we give him best model in the core set at least?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'll give you that. Like,
as long as you assemble him with his sniper rifle. If you didn't assemble him with his sniper rifle, you chose poorly.
The shield pistol's strange. Yeah, I didn't dare do him. Let me switch here. I didn't dare do him with his helmet off because I didn't want to have to do that like stubble.
Yeah,
that gray stubble. So I changed what I was doing. But like faces are just hard to paint.
I'm all about the helmets. If I don't have to paint eyes, I'm all in.
What do we got? Yeah. So sniper rifle engage. Though we were talking about this last time. I understand that 5 is like the gun range, and then 4 is like the power range, like the lightnings, the throws, and 3 is like grenades just out of, and then 2 is the melee range. It just feels kind of bad that a guy with this sniper rifle and he's like shooting the same range as B2s or
Rex has got his pistols and he's like, let's go, Gar Saxon.
Pistols, yeah, right.
Bring your sniper rifle on, my man. We got this.
I understand that it's like just the gun range and you have to take some of the Legion think out of like the different range bands and how they want to go, but it's still just as thematically just feels weird to me. But yeah, it's just a weird minor gripe.
Yeah, obviously we haven't looked at his unit card yet, but I feel like there was like there's no way in like when they were testing this out, there was like not an ability on his card at some point that was like spend a force, you can see and shoot anything on the board, right?
Yeah.
Like
march for elimination.
Yeah. Ignore your weapon, ignores range restrictions for your next attack action or something. I don't know.
But he does get sharpshooter too, that's pretty good.
Yes,
I'll give him that.
He does.
All right, back to his card.
To the cards. All right, Gar Saxon, Merciless Commander. So his first ability here is Pride of the Mandalore, which he shares with Bo-Katan. And it is at the start of this unit's activation, choose another allied Mandalorian character. The chosen character may jump. Notably, this doesn't cost force. It's just there. Pretty good.
Just free. Yep.
And then he also has a jetpack, 1 force. Each character in this unit may jump.
Sounds good.
Yep. Most units in this game have like a force-based extra movement ability. So, and he notably Pride of the Mandalore can't activate himself. If you don't take him with other Mandalorians, you're losing value. And additionally, from the next one, that'll become more apparent. Mandalorians are stronger together. After this unit makes a move action, it may use this ability. If a character in this unit is within range 2 of another allied Mandalorian character, this unit immediately makes a focus action. And for all you people out there who can't remember what a focus action is, because sometimes I can't too, it adds 1 die to your next attack action.
I kind of wish there was a token. I mean, you do it immediately. You go focus and attack. Like it's very rare that you stack it, but I wish there was like a thing you could put out saying, I'm going to do this, and you put it out. I know you just do it next. Like it's very rare that it's ever not used immediately, but just a reminder, maybe. I don't know. Maybe
I'm with you.
Out of context here.
There are definitely some additional keywords that trigger off the focus action as well, which I wish Like, I just wish there was a token. So for instance, if you have impact in your the impact X keyword, when you make a melee attack, it adds additional dice, but only if you've taken a focus action.
Okay.
So they're just, and additionally sharpshooter, which his next ability has, only triggers if you've taken a focus action.
Yeah. It just wish it was like a little. I know you use it immediately, but it'd just be nice for a reminder. Say I'm going to take a focus, and then because eventually, when you get to a high enough level of play and you play the game a lot, you and your opponent won't need it. But the fault, like for example, there's a miniature game called the Fallout Wasteland Warfare, and a lot of the tokens in that actually aren't needed because they're like you move, and there's like a focus kind of action where you get to do some rerolls or whatever it was. So you put the token down, and there's like an activated token, and if you're both playing, you don't really need it because you're kind of, if you're both into the game, you kind of just know what's going on. But for people learning, it'd be nice just to have a little like, okay, then it's like following the steps. Like, okay, then I take a focus, put marker down, then I shoot. Okay, then I use that to add the dot. Like it'd just be a nice like little. I mean, you could just make them. I mean, that's
for sure. I'm sure somebody out there will. I'm sure our friends at Six Up Supply are probably already working on it.
Like, just real quick on that too, I wouldn't mind one for like steadfast and protector.
Yeah, just to know if they're like on or off.
Yeah, just like a reminder token, be like, all right, I'm on the point. He gets protector.
Yeah.
And like again, like it's when both, if you play this enough, if like this is your main game, you won't need them because you're like, oh, the B2s just have it, whatever it is. But it would just be nice to like just know, like, so when I'm making decisions, I don't have to like look at all your cards sometimes to get like a. So maybe that's maybe that's a good. I'm always looking for like interesting things to make as like tchotchke stuff to hand out. Maybe like cool protector, like a shield or something, even just to say like, hey, he's got it. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off here.
No, you're totally good. I actually completely agree. Me and I've been playing with Hob a lot as far as Shatterpoint games go, and like there's not a game has gone by when we're like, why is the focus action not like an aim token?
Yeah.
Obviously you don't like have to spend it, but I don't know.
It's just nice. Like it's like when Legion added the incognito token eventually.
Yeah, it's just
like it's just okay, it's on. You don't have to like remember or make a. You move your dude, you go to shoot, and you go, oh, sorry, it's incognito, and you're like, oh, I gotta take my. And if you have a cool opponent, they'll be like, yeah, man, just take it, put it back. You didn't know, but it just saves like that whole, that whole thing. Just kind of throw it away,
Yep. So next ability in here that we already sort of alluded to was I've got you in my sights.
I've got you in my sights.
Characters in this unit have Sharpshooter 2, which only triggers if you take a focus action, and it adds 1 die for each value, so it's an extra 2 dice in this case, when in addition to the die that the focus action gives you. So
okay.
When a character in this unit makes a ranged attack, the target does not benefit from cover. After this unit makes a focus action, it gains a hugger. So this, if you aren't running him with another Mandalorian to like get the free focus actions, you're losing a lot here. His last ability is Pack Hunter. When a character in this unit makes a melee attack targeting an enemy character that is engaged with another allied Mandalorian character, it adds 2 dice to its attack roll.
Yeah, he's throwing 9 either way.
Yes,
like it's pretty good. So I was giving him some crap. Am I good in this game? He's not bad. He's pretty okay. It's again, this goes to my point where people were saying, oh, you can just mix whatever with whatever. It doesn't seem very thematic. I'm like, you can, but it's bad. Like to not put him with Mandalorians.
Oh, he like almost
good.
all of like basically 4 of his 5 abilities kind of don't happen, because I've got you in my sights doesn't reference another Mandalorian, but in order to like turn it on, you have to be taking focus actions. The only way to take a focus action when you're moving and shooting is to have another Mandalorian in the list. So
yeah,
no, I think it's pretty important. And I think he doesn't have, I mean, like he can definitely do damage in his tree. I think it's really cool that he has a shove in his expertise tree.
Yeah, that's neat. That's new. That's the first time I'd seen that,
Yeah.
And that's good because even if you don't, sometimes maybe you can roll a lot of dice and get like nothing, and then you have at least a few expertise. So you can be like, take 3 damage and get pushed, and I jump.
Yep.
It's not bad.
And he also, I think, very notably has a jump is the second option in his damage tree here. So he is often, almost always, going to jump when he attacks. So
and that's cool, right?
yeah,
He's
a
very
Mando.
mobile. Mando should be above in my brain canon, above general general like clones and battle droids. They're above that, and they're mobile. Those are my two like qualifiers of Mandalorians. So he fits both, right? He's above a generic dude, and then he moves around a lot. So 2 check marks. Okay, and he fights pretty good. You got it.
Yep, I agree. I think he fits the bill. Overall, he's been pretty good in every game I've seen him in so far.
Though I was a little surprised. Again, this is Legion thing that the Mandalorian's Beskar armor doesn't have a way to turn crits to hits or something of that nature. Because that's a big thing with a lot of lightsaber users, right? Like Obi is like, no, that crit's just a miss now.
Yeah,
He's real hard to hit. So I was shocked they don't do that. They just do blocks, and so they are susceptible to crits, which is fine. I was just kind of hoping that they'd be a little bit more survivable. I don't know, like harder to knock out, I guess. But because they make such a big deal about Beskar and a lot of the
totally,
the stuff. I mean, hell, most of the show in the Mandalorian, Din's just getting
he's just picking up Beskar pieces so that he can melt it down and turn it into armor.
Yeah, he's just getting faded every episode, only to just keep seeing the little pieces of Beskar he's got, but it keeps going.
And he's like, I can make half a shoulder plate with this, maybe.
Is he not the best? Like, if you're thinking of a pen and paper game, where he's just, we're going in the dungeon and we find
he's a D&D character.
Yeah,
he's like a D&D like player character, and that's all I could think of the first season was this is just like a Star Wars D&D campaign, and this guy is just like, he's got a recipe for this like armor schematic he's got to make, and he's just running around trying to get paid so he can get the required ingredients. So that's all it is.
Will this scrap of metal make my next boot, my toes and my boots?
Yeah.
No, I'm actually excited to see what they do with Din and Grogu for this game.
I agree.
It'd be cool to see. So Din and Legion is kind of, he's okay, but like,
you could say it, he's bad.
Yeah, he's not great. And then adding Grogu to him thematically feels cool, but it just makes him more of a liability of he might die, then they get a victory point out of it, right?
I think in Legion you can make Grogu give you like an extra 15 to 20 points. Some people still wouldn't take him.
Yeah, no, exactly right. He's just kind of a liability. Though I want to have the Mandalorian, the lone wolf and cub, the quintessential spaghetti western samurai story. Like, that's such a neat little thing.
Totally.
But it's just such a liability. And so I'm hoping in this game they can, when they do it here, they make Grogu feel, he'll probably just have a card ability or something, because they have him on the same base, right? It's Mandalorian. They showed
that's true.
Mandalorian with Grogu, so they don't have to have that like liability points. They just, but hey, he did the hand thing, just free,
He's probably just like an ability on the card or something.
Yeah, right. So that's fine, and that's the way to do it. But yeah, I wish they would take care of poor old Grogu. But anyway,
I mean, I'm sure they will take care of poor old Grogu. And if you don't want Mandalorian season 3 spoilers, turn the podcast off now. But he's gonna be running around in a robot at some point in this game. No.
Dude, I'm kind of here for it. Just All right, man. That's
No.
cool. Let's
No.
no. But uh, hey, man, there's time travel, so anything's up in the air at this point.
Yeah,
We're good. But all right, and then the rest, because I didn't really have a good catchphrase
all good.
for
All
these
good.
guys other than Mando, Super Mandos, or whatever I've been calling them. But
There we go.
they're your quintessential support unit that has a little bit of damage, like a little bit more.
I mean, so they definitely, so I guess as far as keywords and stuff go, they have jetpack, which is the same as Saxons. It's a force, but each character in the unit may jump, so both of them can. They have Mandalorians are stronger together, which is the same as Gars, and that they get to focus as long as they're within 2 of another Mandalorian character. Notably, they can use that to trigger off themselves. So you don't need another Mandalorian unit. You can use the characters in the squad. Then they have no mercy. When an enemy character that is engaged with one or more characters in this unit advances or dashes, after the move is resolved, the moving character's unit suffers 2 damage if the moving character is no longer engaged with one or more characters in this unit. I haven't actually had this come up at all. It's basically if your enemy retreats out of combat with you, they take 2. But I've found that generally, rather than retreating, they just kill your commandos.
Yeah, I'm hoping for like maybe more there's got to be a point where maybe it's going to be with Ewoks, where there's going to be like a supporting unit that really doesn't want to fight.
Sure,
they're just there to like get, if they're on the point, when they take the point, they get 2 points instead of 1, something like that. Totally. So there'd be some reason to try to run away from them, to not get beat up by their flamethrowers. But yeah, I think you just stand and fight most of the time, unless you're like B1s. Maybe that's the.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I definitely haven't seen anybody do it. Their last ability here is victory or death. Characters in this unit have impact 1, which is when you take a focus action, you throw an additional die in melee. These guys are I'm actually was a little bit surprised and kind of like caught off guard. They are way better in melee than they are at range.
Yes.
Which I thought was weird, I guess. I don't know. I just assumed that they were going to be better with their guns than with melee stuff. But their melee is called flamethrower, so maybe that's what we're going for here.
It's they also have victory or death. Impact 1 is, what'd you say? If you take a focus, they get an extra die. Was that right?
Yeah, they get an extra die in melee. So when you focus, you get 2 extra dice in melee.
Okay. So yeah, I guess it's supposed to be. You see, this is weird. It's kind of breaking the cardinal. Pistols are 5, special abilities are 4. Yeah. So it's a weird thing where it's hard to like, I always tell people to look at the card anyway, but it'd be nice to know. So like their pistols kind of stink, right? 5 dice. A lot of units get 5 dice attacks for free. Right?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, like whatever.
Kalani hands it out like candy. Ahsoka's got one. Rex has got one. I'm sure there's a bunch more characters that have it too. 5 dice attacks are not really where you want to be living.
Yeah. So, but yet they are better on melee. I mean, they get crits in melee. That's okay.
They do. Yes, I think they're significantly better in melee, just because of the amount of dice. Their expertise chart is way better, and their defense is also better in melee, just for like taking damage. So I think you just want to get these guys into it. If you're planning on fighting with them, get them in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got like a very interesting combat tree for a support unit. They can do a little bit of everything depending on how it goes.
And they actually like do a fair amount of damage. With the opener being 2 damage, and then you can flip into 4 damage pretty quickly. But you really have to be in melee for them to like climb
Yeah.
the tree, is what it comes down to. Like you're
Yeah.
not going to be doing more than like 2 at range for the most part, like 2 or 3
That's
maybe.
fair. Yeah, that's about right. Because you'll probably roll a crit, and then there'll be uh you'll get like a lucky hit in there maybe. But yeah, so they they're what they are. They're supporting unit. They're not exciting.
Yeah.
It's just what they are.
This is the first unit that I've played with so far that I feel like should be cheaper than how they're costed. Um, in that both the Mando units cost 4 squad points. And when you're comparing them to like the 501st, I don't know how much do B1s cost. Are they
I think
also
B1s are pretty
3?
cheap.
B1s are also 3. Like I think B1s are a lot better than the Mando Super Commandos personally.
I think so too.
And I just maybe I haven't really, in fairness, I haven't played the double Mando list yet, so I could be wrong about that. But these guys just, they're very fragile, they die very quickly, and I have not been able to use them well, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a shame that I don't get. Unfortunately, I do a lot of teaching and demo games, and I'm trying to build a scene. Our store got one of the store kits in of the initiation kit, where it actually gives you a whole new mission.
Initiation kit.
Yeah, it's called the initiation kit. Yeah, it gives you a whole new mission that's
I'm
separate
not
from the
sure
core
I've seen
box.
that yet.
I haven't either, but I was reading the box, and so it's a whole new thing. And I hope they'll sell that or something, because if your store doesn't get the kit,
I didn't even know it existed. I'm gonna
yeah,
actually, I'm literally gonna, as soon as we get off this cast, I'm gonna ping my
like
local
it.
store guy and be
Uh,
like, yo, we've got Star Wars nights on Thursdays, and I've
yeah,
been very we've been,
Shatterpoint heavy.
well, we've just been like, very organizationally, we get like 10 to 12 people in there
Oh, well,
every
okay,
night.
that's good. Yeah, yeah.
Not, it's like a Legion and Shatterpoint
No,
combo
yeah, I mean
night.
that's just even if it was between Legion, Shatterpoint, and X-Wing, that's a
Yeah.
good Star Wars night. That's a
Yeah, we take up most of the store, so
yeah, it's
they're pretty like in on like supporting us whenever there's some like official organized play thing. So this
and the
is,
kits are cheap. It's like all so a little. If you don't know, kits are like 15 to 20 bucks usually.
yeah.
That's an MSRP. So in a store, if someone's trying to say it's like $100 or something, that's not, unless it's like the only time I've ever seen that OP kit be nuts was for Underworld. So those were like $100 kits because it came with a giant piece of glass. But so kits are generally relatively cheap. They just have to order them for you.
Yeah, I think there was a couple Legion kits before the pandemic that were pretty.
Think with the
Um,
dice, maybe.
well, they had those big. I've got. Can you see it on
Oh,
stream? There's, you
the
can't really see it, but it's like a kind of like on the bottom shelf here next to this black thing.
the glass, yeah.
Yeah, it's the glass one. That's like, it's like you could like throw it and kill somebody with it.
The RP, yeah, the RPQ kits, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Shatterpoint one comes with foils for all of the primary characters in the core set. So you get a foil card and then a foil Shatterpoint
Oh,
card.
I didn't realize. So is this is the kit that has
Yeah.
the thing
So
in it?
everyone
So
gets the mission.
we've definitely got this kit already then, because
Oh, okay.
he's shown me the cards.
Okay. Yeah.
He was like, look at all this cool stuff. I was like, dope. Like we should definitely like have a day,
Yeah. So what I was thinking about to do with my store is we got the kit in and it says top 8 gets the cards. And I
Okay.
really didn't want to do a competitive day because the Shatterpoint group is pretty small
Sure.
and it's pretty. A lot of the people who are playing it they're just kind of there because they like Star Wars and they liked MCP. It's kind of the same thing. So I was gonna do my thought was I do like a 8-player capped event, first come to sign up, and then everybody comes and there's no rounds. You just hang out, maybe set up a like a build, like a little art station, modeling station, and then have everyone comes in, you pay your whatever the store wants to charge for someone to come in, and you kind of play through the day, and then you leave with all the cards. That way no one has to worry about like losing out, because this isn't the community's still so small that I'd hate to have someone just get like rocked like 0-3 and then get nothing and they pay their money and then kind of be like, oh man, this is just Legion all over again. So I'd like him to have like a more welcoming experience and be able to hand out the cards.
Yeah, I definitely. So I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit, but I'm also gonna be like a little critical, I think, of that sort of thing. One of the things that I don't like about like competitive Legion right now is that a lot of times when I go to a tournament, particularly like store tournaments, people know I'm going to win before the thing starts, and it's sort of assumed to some degree. Like where people joke about it, like actively. They're like, "Oh, well, we paid money for Mike to get some free Legion stuff today," you know, like, and it makes me kind of feel bad a little bit. And I think I wish that the prize structure was different for those events.
So there's a big fish, small pond. Not that you've proven yourself in different events like LVO. You're not just beating locals up. You've got a good track record. But like for my local, if I really try, like if I brought a quote unquote good list, normally I bring like funny jank and I kind of push it around, and the other guy, I'm reminding him of his triggers. I'm just there to play Legion, but same thing. Like if we had to do a store kit, like they come in, they have the same thing, like just give Evan the thing. I'm like, I don't, like I don't like I'd like to. Go ahead. Yeah, you're good.
Well, and from my side of things, I'm like, I want those promos.
Yeah.
Like so I am gonna try.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Well, because then they make it like, so there's the 1-of-1 Boba Fett. Right. The first place gets a cool Boba Fett card. I want that. I want the dice. I want all the stuff, but also I want people to show up and play, but I also want to win. So it's a weird dichotomy that's hard to. And I'm like the most laid back player I try to be. I'll let you take back just about anything. If like you goof something, like I can't tell you how many times it's been limited viz in some place like coordinate bombardment or maximum firepower. And I'm like, hey man, don't do that. And they go, oh crap. And I'm like, just put it back up. Just pick another card. I saw your card though. And I'm like,
it's turn one, re-rack it.
Doesn't matter. I'm playing standing orders, my man. Play whatever you. So I try to be as accommodating as I can. But to your same issue, I don't want to just be the guy who wins, like, because that gives you a weird stigma sometimes, and that's
I also just like I guess what I'm trying to say, kind of like looping it back to the Shatterpoint thing, is I think what you did there was like really awesome, and I wish that store kits for all the AMG games were a little bit more focused on the people that are showing up as opposed to the people that are winning the tournament, particularly with like them doing like invitational stuff, and that like the invite's enough for whoever won. Like you don't need to give them extra stuff.
Like that's kind of what they're there for, probably, right? But to your point though, the MCP kits, they are show up and get stuff.
Okay, cool.
They so I'm hoping they kind of do this with that, because I'd rather just look, card printing is like pennies. All right, these cards, no matter what Magic the Gathering wants to tell you about the rarity of the One Ring, it costs them a fraction of a penny to print it, right?
It cost them half a cent to print that multi-million-dollar card or whatever.
So no matter what tale the company wants to spin you about how much it takes to print cards. So to me, I'd rather just have people show up. That weight is taken off their shoulders of having to worry about, man, I really just want that Chewy card, and there's 9 rebels to show up, and you came in 9th and you don't get the Chewy card. If that, God for happening right now, Leech would be nuts if the 9 rebels showed up. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's if there's a top faction prize and then you just couldn't get it, and you came in like not even last. Usually people give like a last place something around, like you don't even come that, you're like in that gray ambiguous, like not last, not top half either area, and that just sucks because you get like nothing. So I'd rather just do hey, we only have 8 seats. If this is popular, we'll just do it again. It's easy just to buy it in a kit. He'll probably charge like $10. We'll cover the kit, we'll cover the cost of the store. We don't even need to do store credit, right? Just $10, you get your cards, you get to play for the day, you get to learn the game. and you leave with all the stuff, and you had a good time, and there was no like feels bad. And so I get when you go into like Gen Con or something, or Adepticon, that there's the top prizes. That's a whole different.
That's a
like,
little different.
Yeah, it's a
That's
whole different
little
like
different.
crackball. But for a casual store day, I'm just there to vibe, man.
Yep.
Like, that's just I'm just there I get to play with toys on my day off. That's
Mhm.
and I want to make it as welcoming as possible, because I've been on those. I was lucky enough to make day 2 of Worlds, and I got all those tarot card Legion cards. And that will kind of like in my mind I'm like, all right, at least I got this. But a lot of people didn't, and it's they
A
showed
lot
up,
of
they
people
got,
didn't, and it's not like they didn't have to do work to get there.
yeah,
You know?
right. You already had to like do like how many hurdles. So I'm all for just doing uh like, hey, show up. We have limited seats because I want to make sure everybody gets stuff. So, and if you didn't make this one, like you can still come and play. You just don't like, that's the thing. If you didn't get in the 8 seats, we'll figure it out. I'd be shocked if I got 8 people. I think I could get like 6,
Okay.
maybe 4. Like I'd be blown away if I got 8 people. I'd be over the moon. But I think it's you do something like this with this game, you make it small, accessible. Hey, don't worry about winning or losing. Just come get some cool cards and hang out with people who also like the game, learn the game. Hey man, that's a really cool Grievous you did. Maybe you do a painting competition where they get some sort of credit, like 10. I don't know. Maybe they win a pot of paint or something. Very like super casual hobby day fun. And I think that's where this game was really gonna. Now, do I think there's a competitive side to this game? Absolutely. I think there's some really like high end thinking you do for it, but I also think there's probably a bigger majority of just, hey man, just come and hang out and say the quotes. You even get to say the quotes; they're on the cards. You don't even have to be that guy in Legion who's like saying it all the time. You just get to say it. Like it's pretty.
Mandalorians are stronger together.
Yeah, man. Like you're saying the card. You're not even. So it's I think that's where this game will really find some legs. Is people saying like, oh, hey, a Shatterpoint day. Oh, can't wait to go. And like, especially if you got kids, or you got to go like, hey man, I get it. Touch grass kid, try mowing it. So you go to the store, you only have enough time to play 1 or 2 rounds, and then you've got life. You got to go take care of your kids, or get them a lawn, or whatever you got to do. Being able to show up, pay the fee, get your cards. You only have time to play a round or so, and then you got to go. Like, I feel like that's fine too. Like, hey man, I am very fortunate that I have really 0 obligations, so I can go to an all-day tournament no problem, right? But a lot of people aren't, so it'd be nice just. And what stinks is if you do have a lot of obligations when you go to a tournament, you do have to leave early. You create a buy, and now you're feeling bad because someone has to who paid has to sit, for a round out or something. Like it just stinks. So I think if this game just survives on like this casual hey, come to the kit, get your cards, hang out, play a couple rounds, eat a piece of pizza, take off.
Yeah, I think that's how I'm feeling about it presently. We'll see. I definitely could see it turn into a much more try hard thing as things go on. But for now, I feel like that's where we should be living. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and look, and what's kind of neat is I was reading the pods. So I signed up for Gen Con and Nova, and I know the Gen Con pods, like you just get into a pod of people and they just kind of hand you out prizes during the time you're there. There's not even like a top bracket, which I'm after getting my butt kicked at Onslaught, I'm going to get my butt kicked at Legion. I'd like to just show up with my toys and be like, please, sir, can I just roll some dice? I don't want any trouble, please. Please just stay away. So yeah, I think we'll land this plane. Next week will be, or week or 2 weeks, or whenever this comes out, I'll hopefully get Ahsoka painted. I got to do that.
So you have a mission, sir.
I know. I got to get Grievous done. So, because my Gen Con list is going to be Grievous, Kraken, B2s, and then Dooku, Kalani, B1s.
At the end of the day, if we have to put unpainted models up there, it's not a big deal.
Oh God, I've been doing so good.
I know.
Like, I've been doing so good.
None of my Shatterpoint stuff is painted yet, so you're doing much better than I am.
I'm gonna try my best, Mike. Oh God. So I'll get them done so I can get them up there. Mandalorians are actually pretty easy. If you just go for like the 3 color minimum,
Yeah.
And with speed paint, even though it's easy to do 3 colors, I still go a little bit beyond if I can. We'll get them up there, and then we'll go over. I think we've there's the You Cannot Run pack. There's a couple other like side packs we can probably add on, or there'll be more news about some of the upcoming packs. I'm sure there'll
For
be
sure.
something.
I definitely I picked up my $200 worth of pre-orders at the store the other day, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm done for a while.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, I was honestly low-key kind of happy when they said Grievous got pushed out to September originally. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, thank God. Then he's like, well, no, we got him back in for next week. I'm like, oh no, my wallet. But I think I'm good. You got anything else before we go?
I'm all good. I appreciate everybody hanging out and chilling with us as we continue going over the core set. We'll wrap the core set up next episode, and I can probably move on to like some deeper dive stuff, I think, at that point.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Everyone stay rad, and we'll see you out there.
See you next time.
This has been The High Ground, a 5th Trooper production.